Hey guys, welcome back to Seller Sessions here in Estonia for Egle's third event in a row now. I'll be DJing on Saturday night. I spoke at the last two. Egle's a friend of the show. You know, you've seen her on the podcast and also appeared quite a lot on Branded by Women. So today we did do if you want to check back through the catalogue, we did do an in-depth with Egle about 3 years ago. But in this episode, we're going to be talking about her exit just before the bubble burst on the tail end of 2022. So Egle, welcome to the show.
Hi, and I'm not even sure I want to talk about the exit because not to discourage entrepreneurs, but I think this side of the coin also needs to be shown.
Yeah.
And what we went through is not normal.
All right, let's start from the very beginning. So we're going to wind back first from December 2022. Because we knew in the January it kind of literally capitulated, didn't it? All the, even down to advertising events, and we see a lot of deals just close up. I've done a show with Paul I think it was last year, and we road mapped it out where the cliff happened in the January, and that was it. It was just like game over. So he was getting through something like 40 deals a month, or one a day, or 1.2, something crazy, and then it just went boom, and the market disappeared. We don't name any names because obviously confidentiality and stuff, but let's look at the outside peripheral of everything that happened leading up to it so that people can learn from the story. So when were you approached to start selling before that December of 2021?
Basically 2 years before. So everything was supposed to go really well. You know, the COVID wasn't really there. We were approached, of course, by multiple aggregators. We were already working with consultants, getting the 12 months trailing revenue and profitability, super sharp condition. And then first thing, actually what happened was nothing to do with COVID. COVID came a bit later. Our main seller went off from the Amazon catalog just because of the catalog error. But the main seller, it was kind of the hero product.
So to put a timeline on this, we knew around March 18th is when Big C kicked in. You started speaking to people in the January before of 2020 or in the end of 19?
Talking to people? What do you mean?
Well, you mentioned COVID.
The aggregators.
Yeah, the very first setup of, because you said it took a couple of years and you exited the end of 2021.
Yes.
I keep getting the dates messed up. But then there was a 2-year period, you said. So that would have taken
so
you
back. So
like
18.
Oh, 2018.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just to prep, we knew we were going to go for it. But because that business really took 4 years to build, but it could have been much faster if we could exit it much faster.
Yeah.
So we started off really classically. We were approached, everything went well, but then our main seller went off and just a catalog error in the Amazon system. And I think that was the first time our team actually came across the AI versus human issue in Amazon. We manually cased, phone called, and the people in Amazon manually fixed the category in our product. And then at the nighttime, the AI comes or that, syncing happens or something. And the human is helpless against that computer system. So we were messing around with this 300,000 monthly revenue losses for about 6 months. And we were already having talks with aggregators, just, a few more months. And then it was like, we need to pause this all. We can't do it. Yeah. So on and off we went with listing being available and then closed, and Amazon telling us, you have 70,000 units in our warehouse, and you guys, you don't really sell all that much. Let's just destroy all these goods.
Jesus, yeah.
And we were like, OMG, this is almost like automatic thing. It's pretty hard to reverse if Amazon really says that, oh my God, this is just standing there in the stock, and that's only purely Amazon mistake. We managed, pretty much on the last minute, we managed to avoid getting all our stock destroyed. Of course, we had huge stock in China piled up already by this time because the processes are just that long. And then the moment we get the listing back up, COVID hits. Our portfolio we sold was purely office category. We were doing stuff related to cables. We had so many B2B clients. It was regular to get order of 100 units weekly coming in. We were used to that, and that's only bulk purchases. So when COVID hit, like all the people went home, so we lost basically. We got the listing back on, but we lost the clients
because everyone's at home. Yeah.
Yes. So it was like, what else can happen now? And throughout this, we even like paused the conversation with the consultants, with aggregators, because everything was so destroyed. From we were doing over 400,000 revenue monthly. It was used to be such a good profitability that we showed, and then suddenly everything was run to ground. We barely made 100K in some months just to, because of that.
So that I can quickly, because there's a lot there to unpack. So the basis of that part of the story is pre-COVID. You had issues with the listing with the catalogue team.
Yes.
So what happened is you had a high velocity product selling well until there's an issue with the listing, which kept coming down on a daily basis. And because of the velocity of stock that you already had on Amazon saying, look, we can't hold on to all this, you should destroy it. You're having that internal battle there. You finally find a way to get this listing fixed and back in the game, because you're losing two to 300,000 a month in revenue or thereabouts, but overall doing a complete 400,000 revenue.
Yes.
Only to find that Big C pops its head up.
Yes.
And now you're going to get on the rough lifeboat for 2 years, because you're selling the products category of office supplies.
Yes.
And a lot of your office supplies were business customers, so they're ordering bulk, like you said, hundreds of units of stuff per week.
Yes.
Yeah. All right. I just wanted to get clarity around that.
Yes.
Yeah. So pretty fucking devastating.
I am getting anxiety in my body now when I'm talking about it, because it was almost like surviving just another day.
Yeah.
And that's how it felt like, because there's nothing else you can do. And me and my business partner, we decided that, okay, if this is just so crazy, let's just, it was a moment where you could still travel a little bit. So we took the kids, we went to, I don't remember if it was Greece or Turkey. It's better to kind of troubleshoot when you have at least sunshine on your skin, because here in Estonia, it's, 9 months of bad ski weather. That's how we call it. And we arrived to this resort, all the kids, 3 kids with us, super hectic and thing. So we agreed that, you're going to stay in the hotel room, I'm going to be in the pool, and then we change and just keep working 24/7 just to see what else can we do. And we make it there, and it comes out there's no internet. So it's like, there's nothing we can do, and there's no internet either.
Yeah. So
that was pretty much the moment that I was like, I was just sitting and staring blank to the wall, just could not believe everything was happening.
Yeah, I can see you visibly getting upset now.
Absolutely blank. Like you stop functioning.
Yeah. So this all hits. How are you dealing with it?
I think we would have cancelled the whole thing. Maybe we wouldn't.
You mean shut down?
Shut down maybe the business. I'm not sure. Maybe let go people. The fourth thing that was adding pressure actually was that we knew we wanted to exit, and we already started 2 new companies. These 2 new companies needed desperately injection for testing, for finding what products are going to be profitable, which not. So we need to test a lot. Our main business was in such a shaky ground. We didn't really make any money on this in most months. When the COVID hit, and then we already had new operations started. So that was a moment actually when we found that we are about 300,000-400,000 in minus. Don't really know how to come out of it, and mostly we just managed to survive because these were all unpaid bills to Chinese, and they were able to absorb it for a certain amount of months, but not forever. So we had almost.
So here's the thing. Normally with an entrepreneur, you have the opportunity to solve a problem. So you had a series of problems there, but the problem then became is something that's out of everyone's hands, because, you're now you're selling in a thriving category across the board, which is about as useful as a chocolate ashtray, right? And then it's a waiting game, right? Because even all the optimizations, team works harder, better ideas, no one's in the fucking office. No one's going to want anything.
They
do you know what I mean?
They
and you're waiting.
Up. They set up their home offices, but instead of like
But you know what I mean?
purchases
There's
of
nowhere near
100
the scale.
units,
Yeah.
instead of 100 units, they now get just 1 or 2 units, you
Yeah.
know, because people have something set up. They're not completely empty, you know. They would work from kitchen tables and stuff. They don't need all this setup as in the professional setting. So yeah, we were in a really situation where we were thinking, okay, either we're going to close down, or since we had the consultants next to us, and that was such a saving, because they saw you know, we were not the only one. They said, you know, everybody's having so hard time. Let's just see, like, one day at a time, what can we do? So it ended up us having a conversation after 4 months of pause, because it was so crazy. There was no point even to consult them, because they were not able to tell us what to do. So we managed to recover the main listing. We kind of stabilized the business in that sense, optimized so much. And then we had the call and said, like, what are we going to do? Are we going to proceed with exit in the almost impossible conditions, or we're just going to stop and don't know what's going to happen? They said there is one way how you can proceed. Your business has flatlined. It's growing a little bit. Everybody understands it's COVID, so aggregators actually do understand that office category is not dead forever. Like, travel is not dead forever. It's
a waiting game now, isn't
It's a waiting game. They were still willing to proceed, but nobody knew how long COVID is going to last. So the consultant said that, Egle, let's continue, but in order for us to continue, we need to have a bonus offer for the aggregator next to your office brand, which we don't know when that's going to start driving again. You need to create another brand that's going to generate 500,000 profit per year, not revenue, but profits. Show all the products that the portfolio consists, show the math where the profit is coming, show the market situation, why do you estimate that these products are going to carry it. Generate that, but the problem is you only have 2 or 3 weeks to generate that. So basically, I do not remember this summer at all. I was just sitting at home, closed the curtains, sent the kids away, sat on the computer.
How was your mental health in that?
Oh, terrible. But, you know, in those moments, you really come down to, what can I do right now? I cannot eat donuts, drink Coke, you know, go crazy on destroying myself internally. I need to meditate. I need to move my body, so like all the anxiety from this situation just comes out. I need to just take care. I need to sleep. So I'm even losing voice about it right now, because I'm still recovering from what happened. It was very, very bad burnout that this just resulted in. But I managed to create this 500,000 profits in Excel with actual products in Amazon that could carry while COVID was, you know, holding down the office category. And at the end of the summer, we continued negotiations with aggregators.
And so what did you do? So where did the recovery come to show the numbers again with the trailing history for them to invest? Not invest, but purchase.
Yes.
Make it
We managed to
worthy.
stabilize pretty much. So it wasn't like going down, it was just stabilizing. So like it was like rational to understand why it was a flatlining, why it wasn't growing. So that we were able to get through with that. And with the extra bonus portfolio that I created for them, they actually found it pretty interesting. But the like nerve-wracking part was that the aggregators we were talking to, I think we nailed down to like 5, and one by one they just fell through. Like we were not able to continue with them in any reason they could tell us. Like we heard everything, and then it just nailed down to 1. And it was like, either they're going to buy it or we really need to close it down, because we already, by this time, we had 3 companies to run and 2 of them did not make any money.
And cash is your lifeblood.
Oh, yes. So we were in such a bad condition. I honestly thought that, let's just sell my apartment, but that's going to cover, I don't know, 40% of what we need. I was even ready to do that. And move to my sister's farm. She's growing horses, so why not? It's going to de-stress me. It's going to be lots of nature, stuff like that. So like, you read these stories from Forbes, from business, papers, until you go through something like that yourself. It's just a fairy tale that somebody else experiences. Once you go through it, then it kind of changes you as a person. I'm so much more humble. I'm like, I really respect all the things I cannot control. I don't. Yeah. And I just do the best I can.
This is the thing, is the only thing you can control is yourself. And I think once people understand is you need internal locus of control, you need agency, and you have boundaries, right? And the world doesn't change, you change. When you change your internal dialogue, the world changes around you because your perception changes. So if you think of stuff that anything external is out of your control, and that's freedom. Do you see what I mean? Because control tends to come from a place of insecurity, because to control the outcome instead of allowing it to flow. And I think that helps with getting to peace, is to be able to see it for what it is. And you go, well, I can't control it. I can control my reaction. I can respond, I can react. I can control how I think about it. But I can't control all the dialogued outcome that sits there. But I can do something about it by changing my behaviour around it.
Yes. Yeah? So the main thing this ordeal really taught me was that if I choose to go on one day after one day, I do my best in an impossible situation. It just taught me that I can trust myself.
Yeah.
I will not die. I cannot control nothing externally. But if I keep going, the chances that things are not going to end up bad are actually pretty good.
Well, you just chip away at it, didn't you? You have a problem and you go, it's going to take me 50 sittings to get this problem resolved. And each day you diligently, with consistency, chip away. And
sometimes I'm actually surprised. You know, people talk about universe bringing you the best you deserve or something. And actually it ended up in a really funny situation. We exited in December 21. And that was the absolute peak period where you could get multipliers, the highest you could ever get. So we actually ended up having the biggest exit in Estonia ever done. So far, nobody has been able to beat us. But the story behind kind of makes that impossible to happen.
Well, they were your challenges. They were the blockades, and that exit was your reward, because what happened... There's the luck of the Amazon seller as well. You could be the greatest seller in the world. You could have one brand that works amazingly well. You're a genius at what you do. Go into a different category, and everything you apply to that is executed beautifully. Then nothing happens. Yeah. So there is a bit of luck, and I think what's happened is you carried pushing through. Because the worst of the luck could have been because that January when everything collapsed, you could have been on that a whisker away from getting Estonia's biggest. Exit in Amazon between your core
collapse,
group into a
bankruptcy and just licking my wounds, stopping everything.
You were weeks away.
Even days. We exited like 21st of December.
There you go.
So like January is not too far away.
No, exactly.
1 week, not more. Week. Yeah.
1
week away from
your life has changed. That 1 week could have changed the whole trajectory of your life.
I am getting heart attack thinking about it.
But you did it. Do you see what I mean? You took a lot of lessons. You humbled the ego. Basically.
I don't even know if I have any ego left. Honestly,
I smashed it in pieces, didn't it? Everyone has an ego, whether that's
I have changed as a
damaged
person.
Ego or
I have changed the person so much. I feel myself being so much calmer person because I did not die in the war. I was in the hardest situation ever having in my life, and tremendous trust that I just built on myself. Let's just do what's the next thing we can do. I am breathing. I'm able to eat. I see. I hear. I can speak. These are my tools. Whatever I can do with this, I don't need anymore actually. And if you come down to pure essence of entrepreneurship, we are here to solve problems. So if I would give up, I wouldn't really carry the flag of being entrepreneur, because entrepreneurs are solving problems. We don't get to choose how big the problems are, but certainly...
But we choose to put ourselves in a position to try and solve them.
Yes.
Because there's a saying, I can't remember who quoted this, but it's a brilliant saying. It says, you may think failure's bad, but wait till you get the receipt of regret. That's powerful, isn't it?
It's very...
So you've got to try.
And what we were discussing yesterday with Steven Selikovs in his masterclass, his mother told him, does life happen to you or you happen to life? Giving up is life happening to you. And like what power does that have? Nothing. It's just you are powerless, and it's like a flag being pushed by a wind.
There are times when you have to quit while you're ahead and make the smart decision to go, this isn't working. We've done everything we can, but as long as you had no regret of putting everything on the line, in terms of, I tried everything, it didn't work, I accept it, I'm going to learn from that, and I'll move forward, is different to throwing your arms up in the air and going, I can't do this no more, too much, da-da-da. That's giving up.
Trust me, I was so over this crossing actually every day, but I thought, I'm so screwed, let me just try a little bit more. Nothing can get any worse, so let me keep trying, because I don't really have any other choice. So that was the situation.
Cool. We'll come out the other side, so let's talk about the day that you looked at the online banking.
Oh, MG, that was, I'm having this most beautiful thing with my brother, sister and mother. We decided that we want to be like a wolf pack forever. So we're having dinner each other's places after every 3 weeks. And we had one in my brother's place. And they witnessed me being destroyed for 1.5 years for sure. They're holding me, they are like supporting me. And there has been these dinners where I honestly haven't been able to talk much at all about my life and share myself. And I think I was pretty destroyed again in my brother's place, because we were exiting, but we had signed the deal. But one part of the deal says that if the money hasn't been transferred, the contract is not valid. So we signed it, but after all these 2 years of ordeals, you don't really trust. And until the money is not there, it's not finished, even if you have a signature on the paper. And then this crazy moment came that my business partner sent me a screenshot of our bank account. And I absolutely collapsed on the floor of my brother's apartment. And I'm getting tears in my eyes right now, because that was the most unbelievable moment in my life, that I wanted to scratch the screen. I couldn't believe these numbers are there. And I don't know, I think it took me a week or something to sink that in, because it was so impossible. So, but coming back to the 2 companies we started already, that made such a big difference, because instead of being very, very low budget, we were actually able to go into a philosophy of rinse and repeat and amp up the power we had. For 2 companies, we had a portfolio manager. They were just sitting and waiting just to get funded. We assigned about €500,000 for each companies being developed, and then started really, really aggressively to launch new products and develop new companies. We really didn't want to let the team go. We made this decision. We had this discussion with the team. They didn't really want to go and do anything else. When we exited, that we had this choice, but they didn't. So we were back in business, basically, after that. It took me personally, though I needed to change the way I do things, because I used to be with my team 5 days a row in a week, but I had to pull it down to 2 days of a week, because my body was just so overtired. So I'm recovering now. I would say I'm in 75% right now. Good. You saw me last year. You said I'm destroyed, so that was definitely.
Well, we've had a lot of deep conversations, haven't we? And you've had other stuff go on, which is not conducive to the podcast, but I want to say I'm very proud of you.
Thank you.
You've done amazing, and
I get hot when I'm talking about it, because it's just like emotions.
I know, I can see all the stress coming
out
now, but this is the thing, this is what's wonderful about the stories, the digging in, the grit, what you can learn from these things. And it's incredibly inspiring, especially for women in the space as well.
One of the biggest lessons actually I learned from it is when I started Amazon company 5 years ago, I actually became pretty woman bossish, girl boshish type of a woman. But I realized then that, big part of me who is soft, who is playful, who doesn't want to be precise in all
we've had this discussion. Well, there's times like for the essence of polarity and masculinity and femininity and stuff, and as a lady, you've said to me, it's like you want to be able to get back into yourself. You want to get back into your femininity, but often you're playing that fighting role of the business where you're in your masculine, and you want the sway, you want to go back into your feminine, you want to get back out your mind and back into your body, so that you have the energy to move things forward.
So it moves naturally.
So it's flowing, you ebb and flow, you can then go up and down and cascade up and down. but by our conversations, if I'm right, is that you felt that there's a lot of time that you're in your masculine energy, but you want the opportunity to be in your feminine energy as well. Do you see what I mean? Because that's where you feel free.
Exactly. And the biggest push, I think, exit actually taught me so well, because it put me in a such executive role in a masculine power.
Yeah.
I felt it so true. And unfortunately, for people to really learn lessons in their life, we need to be pressed to the corner hard. We need to experience contrast in the extreme.
You face adversity.
So you bounce back to the other side much faster, quicker, much more, you're much more aware of what's going on. You're not in this middle hazy, I'm not sure, this way.
Yeah.
You're very sure you don't want to continue this way.
Yeah.
So that's a gift it gave me. I can always go back to my super executive flow. I can go back to being soft feminine, not really taking, creating structure for anybody, but enjoying room people are creating for me. So that's a gift actually that me being incarnated to a feminine body now have been able to experience through this contrast.
Yeah, exactly. And adversity does tend to make people, or it can break them for a period of time. And then you put all the pieces back together.
Yes.
So now going forward, let's look at the reality. When you've reached the level of adversity and come back from the adversity, most stuff like the day-to-day doesn't touch the sides. 10 grand here, 20 grand here, 50, all that stuff is like, it's like indifference, because you know what the adversity is like. One of my biggest, this is why I'm pretty chill with 99% of things, and most things go over my head, is because I've had to bury 2 of my own children. There's nothing bigger than that for me.
No, there is nothing bigger in life. There is nothing bigger
anything in business is irrelevant. I get the momentary stress. I get the pissed off or frustrated kind of thing. But in the grand scheme of things, it's very little relevance to that. I don't mean like you don't put essence into stuff, but if you're working on something and it's very stressful for a lot of people, you're like, it's just work. I'll do it. It gets done. Tomorrow's a new day. Wake up, fresh perspective, go again, get the broken glass, chew on it, swirl the blood around in your mouth, and say thank you very much, and then you hit cash flow. Do you know what I mean? It's just that it's how you look at these kind of things is a marker of what's happened before.
Because you normalize it.
You normalise it. You walk through the storm.
Yes.
And a new person comes out the other side of the storm.
Yes.
Yeah. And not everyone can get there, but if you put your mind to it, you can get there, and then that's where life becomes more acceptable. Because the thing is like life's unfair, and if you live in an objective reality, life doesn't care about you. You've got to take care of you and your family. Yeah. And even when if you spend a lot of time complaining all the time, people will listen until they don't. They don't want to hear the same story over and over and over, victimhood. Do you see what I mean? But then you have an incredible story, and then you do this, and we all have our self-doubt of something, or get pissed off. But then it's like, no, it's time to buckle in, right? And it's your burden of performance. You chose to do this. So every day, your burden doesn't disappear. You get up every day and you've got the same burden, but it's how you look at it.
It's like, for me, I now realize that a tornado exists life is a tornado in its essence, because things need to be tossed around to create new. And if you want to be on the cutting edge of creation, you're going to be hit hard
get burned
sometimes.
A few times. Yeah, you put your hand in the fire, you're getting burned.
What experience I got, I walk into tornado. Yes, things are hitting me. I rise to the winds and get tossed around. Fine. I have a feeling I'm going to die. I don't. You keep going and you reach the heart of the tornado where everything is super tranquil. It's so peaceful. It's so calm. Yeah. You know the tornado is going around you, but it no longer scares you. And you know it's always going to be somewhere, the tornado, but you can always go to the heart of it and just relax in the heart of it.
Yeah. How would you like to be remembered?
Oh, gosh. I actually... the day that I am going to be remembered I'm not doing this yet. You know, when I'm going to be reaching my retirement age, that's where my remembrance is actually going to start being built, because I see so many people entering their like senior years and being so sad that life is discounting them. And for me, I have a plan. And this is my grand plan of my life. Whatever I do right now, this is play. It gets serious when I am senior. When I am hitting 65, 70, I'm going to gather other proactive seniors around me. We are going to start doing secret good deeds to anything that we see that we can contribute to. We're going to start planting flowers on, like, I don't know, in front of the elderly care home. We don't care if they're going to survive or not. We're just giving the beauty, the care, the like, wow, like who did that? And we're not going to put any credit on it.
You'll be able to see from a distance, so your giving isn't based on...
It's like a good night.
You know, you give someone a cheque and you run to get the photograph done. Hey, I just gave you money to... It kind of goes against the charity aspect, you know, because some people, you know, will use charities for different reasons. Some people want to get that public virtual signalling. But what you want to do is...
I want to do it secretly.
You want to know. You want to watch the expression of changing someone's life in that moment. And they will never know it's you.
I don't want to have any credit. What I'm building right now is maybe to being able to fund it, to invest right now, to have being able to take monthly money out of it, few thousand, to just, I don't know, print a few billboards, for example, who remind, for example, the kindness, that forgive somebody who maybe it's time. You know, it's just to give back the kindness and beauty of life. We are all hustling really much every day. I think we are not focusing all the soft and beautiful and like heart fulfilling part of life enough. So that's where I'm gonna start giving back. And if anybody ever figures out that it's me and my group of other seniors,
you're just gonna deny it.
I'm gonna deny it, but I know they know. So that's how I'm gonna be remembered.
Excellent. Do you have any final words for Amazon sellers before we go?
Always actually pivot. Amazon is forcing us to pivot all the time. Last time we pivot away from being focused on amazing product. Now we pivoted and finding amazing markets and bringing amazing products to these markets. It's just an extra layer that the complexity now has added on. But when you kind of see that, okay, it's like, where is the business getting hard? That's the place where Amazon is telling you, okay, figure it out. Do something about it. You need to advance your knowledge. Amazon is not rinse and repeat. Amazon is rinse and repeat and add complexity to it. So that's what I want to say. It's never going to stay the same.
Excellent. Well, thank you for joining me today. Guys, thank you for joining us. Once again, incredible story as always. We'd love to carry on charting what comes next for you. I'll be back next week. Take care of yourself and your family. Much love, and I'll see you again soon.
Bye.